What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ken and I'm giving away the secrets to Amazon KDP. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure to subscribe. Now, I know I've been MIA for a little bit, but as most of you know, I just recently got married and went on a honeymoon, which I'm still currently on. But now I'm back working and making videos for you guys. So I'm going to try to get one out every 2 weeks while I still continue to work on some other stuff. So bear with me with the audio quality. I don't have my proper setup and I won't have it till I go home. So just bear with me for now. I know it's not very good, but I promise you the information in this video will make up for it. So before we get into the video, actually, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm actually back doing my consulting calls. I'm back making videos and working on my educational resources. So I've reopened my one-on-one consulting calls. The times are going to be odd for some of you, but I'm still currently in Portugal and they're what works for me given the time difference. So I'm looking forward to helping you succeed with your Amazon business. And if you're in need of help, if you've been waiting for a call, definitely go check the times and see if one works for you. If you need a certain time slot that's not there, feel free to give me an email and I'm sure we can work something out. So you know the drill, it's always no time, let's get right into this. So A+ content, we're going to be going over everything you need to know about A+ content in this video. What is it, how to make it effective, and why most people get it wrong. And if you do it right, you can actually double your conversion rate in some circumstances. We're going to go over my formula and layout for successful A+ content that I use with all of my books. We're going to go over where to create it for free, how we can outsource it briefly at the end, and then we're going to go over how to upload it properly. So what is A+ content? So A+ content is basically when you're on the product page of a book, you essentially just scroll down and it's going to have a little section called From the Publisher. And it's basically just bonus content on your product page to help sell your book. Everybody should have A+ content on their books. In my opinion, it's one of the most valuable features for your product page that can increase your conversion rate. It's very visual. It gives people an understanding of what your book is all about, and it's a great way to sell it to them. So why would you need A+ content? Basically, A+ content gives your reader a more visual understanding of what your book is about and what's inside it. People want to be able to visualize their end goal with the problem that they have, and A+ content is the ideal way to show them that you know how to take care of them and you know how to take them to their end goal. So how can we actually make our A+ content effective in getting people to buy our book? So a good question to ask when considering this is, what is the goal of our A+ content? The goal of our A+ content is to essentially provide the potential readers with an idea of what they can expect from our book and the experience that they're going to have. Basically just reiterating what I just said. So it's easy for me to say this, but to actually apply this properly, we have to ask ourselves, what is the secret to doing this effectively? And the secret to doing this effectively is showcasing what your book is about at a glance, not with a bunch of text. I can promise you that this is what most people get wrong. Customers have already read your title, they've read your subtitle, they've read your description, and they're going to go down and read your reviews. When they inevitably make it to the A+ content, I promise you they're not going to read anything that's more than a sentence. We have to highlight our book and our brand as visually as possible and as quickly as possible, and this is how you maximize your conversion rate, because they get a broad picture of what exactly your book is going to do for them at a glance with images, visuals, snippets from inside the book, and just overall valuable content that sometimes the description and the title just doesn't get and doesn't give to them. So what do I mean by this? We have to hit specific pain points with bold statements that are easy to read. We have to get images and diagrams from inside our book so they can envision the experience that they're going to have when they read it. Even if we don't have images or diagrams in our book, we still should be taking some pictures from the interior formatting, because if you've done it properly, your book's going to be formatted really nicely and it's going to look like a professional book. Showcase that. Showcase a chapter title, chapter 1, chapter 2. It just shows the potential reader that you have a nice professional book that's going to tell them what they need to hear. And the third thing is we have to simplify the book's core idea and showcase that to them at a glance. So let's look at some examples of some good A+ content. So right away we have some A+ content for a book on companion planting. So this is actually 4 columns going downward, but for the sake of the slideshow I had to put them beside each other, so just picture them stacked on top of each other. But basically it has a nice clear statement: use nature's power to grow a bountiful vegetable garden, minimize pests, improve soil quality, increase garden yield, and then it goes right into the interior pages. So a strength of this book is clearly the formatting. They did really high quality formatting, colored images, nice illustrations, probably done custom for the book, and they want to showcase that. So they give you some important points of the book, like good advice, plant profiles. So when people are considering buying your book, they're going to see, oh, plant profiles. Instead of just reading that, they're going to see the actual plant profiles that they have in the book. And it's going to be extremely desirable because they can see the quality of it, the depth of it, the fact that they have some images there. It's clearly a well put together book. And this is clearly just giving the reader a really desirable snippet of what they're going to experience. And it's so much more likely they're going to buy the book if they can see this. So here's another one that's okay, but we're actually going to make some tweaks to it to make it better. So this is another book on vegetable gardening and just has the main banner here, has some points in the book. And if I were to improve this, I would basically remove these text boxes here and I would emphasize the main points because those are the main things that people are going to see and read. We can't expect them to go and read these paragraphs. And the second thing I would do is I would take away this box here and I would just create a bold and clear statement on the image itself. So this could be something like the last gardening book you'll ever need, something to just hook them in, give them a desirable picture of what the book is about. So here's another A+ content. It's a book called The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan. So there's a bit more text in this one, but what I do like about it is it has this clear visual of the whole process and kind of strategy that he uses for the given topic of the book and how he's going to teach you the core idea. And I think this is a great way to not only give somebody credibility, but give somebody the ability to have a look at it and say, oh, wow, this actually makes a lot of sense. This is super clear. I'd love to read further about this strategy and I wonder what more diagrams they're going to have. So it kind of leaves you wanting more. So here's another gardening book, Elevate Your Garden and Grow Your Bounty. A nice, clear, descriptive hook. It's going to have some more information in the second one and then some snippets from inside the book. Now, I personally would remove the text, but that's just me, but I still think this is a strong A+ content. So here's one from Alex Hormozi's new book, $100 Million Leads. Get more leads because when you double your leads, you double your business. And when you double your business, you make more money. And that's the goal. So just a very clear and descriptive paragraph on what the reader is going to want, basically telling them exactly their end goal is inside this book. And what this does is it shows the potential reader that you understand the position they're in, you understand how to solve the problem. And even though it's text, that's fine. It's very clear to read. There's some nice color highlighting their important points, and they can easily read this at a glance, and they'll probably be inclined to read it at a glance because they want to see what it has to say. So here's another one on a book about ChatGPT, and there's a few key points I like about this one. I really like how it has a section that says updated for ChatGPT 4, and it's just showing the people that it's the most up-to-date version. So what I also like is the last block, get a ChatGPT prompt cheat sheet. So this is extremely effective because as you're saying to the reader, I'm not just giving you a book. There's a cheat sheet in here. There's everything you need to succeed in your goal, which is making money online with ChatGPT. So it's just enticing them and showing them the package that you have. Our last example here is a low content, an example for a book on activities for seniors for relaxation, anxiety relief, and just exercising your brain. So it really just showcases the inside of the book and what they're going to get. It shows pages, it shows it's a large print layout, it shows it's going to exercise your brain. And then although I don't like the smaller text here, because if it's a large print book, the odd that this person is going to be able to read this tiny little text is not very high. But what I really like is the collage of all their books. It's just giving you this kind of authoritative figure and credibility that I feel does a really good job of selling your books. And then there's also other books that have links to them. So if somebody doesn't necessarily want this book, but they might see a book that they're more inclined to buy and they're going to be able to click it because the link is there. So that's something that you can add as well. So before we go into actually creating our A+ content, let's go into look what not to do. So right away, pretty self-explanatory. The most important thing with A+ content is not having all this text, because it's not that this text is bad. It's not that the pictures are bad or the formatting is bad or the design is bad. It's just that nobody's going to read it. People have already read the description. They're going to go read the reviews. They're just not going to read it. They're going to come and they're going to glance at the titles. They're going to look at the pictures and then they're going to scroll down. So it's a lot of extra effort that's not going to get you anywhere. This is the content that needs to be inside your book. Take away all this text and just leave it as the main points: vegetables, fruits, herbs, flowers, greenhouse maintenance. Give them a broad overview of all the things they're going to get without any of this text, because they're just not going to read it. So now let's actually get into creating our A+ content and the formula we should use. So this is my winning formula that I use on all my books. So first of all, I use the standard blocks, the 970 pixels by 300 pixels. And then how I structure it is I'll have a hook sentence with the cover of my book. I'll have some sort of selling feature why they need this book and what's kind of the core idea of it. I'll then have a block explaining what they're going to get out of the book and probably some snippets from inside and why they should buy this book and what experience they're going to have with it. And I inevitably just close the sale. You have to think of your A+ content just like your description. Your description is formatted properly because you want to take them to the end result, which is buying your book. Your A+ content should be the same format because the people who are reading your description are thinking the same thing about your A+ content. They need to be taken through kind of a system. You need to hook them in. You need to tell them why they need this book. You need to give them the supporting information and the pictures from inside to allow them to visualize the experience they're going to have. And then you need to close the sale so they go to the buy button. So if you want an alternative to this format, you can also do the same hook and book cover, but then you can put a block in that's 970 by 600 pixels, and then it allows you to have some more space to showcase important points in interior content and then you can close the sale. So you can have multiple of these in the middle, or you can just have the one big block, but the standard is definitely just the 4. The last thing that you can add to this is if you already have a brand, you already have lots of books, add a 5th block in that essentially just showcases your brand and other books in your brand to give yourself some authoritative credibility and just to show them that you're here for the long run and you have lots of content. So now let's go create some A+ content. So what I did was I essentially took a best-selling book from Amazon and I basically redid the A+ content for it. So we're going to go in now and have a look at that, and I'm going to show you my exact thinking behind it. So what you're going to use for your A+ content is a website called Canva. I'm sure you've heard of it before, but it's just the best platform for doing stuff like this. It's super easy, it's super intuitive, and there's lots of illustrations and pictures and diagrams that you can use for your A+ content. So how you're going to create that is you're essentially just going to go to Canva, create an account. You're going to click create a design. You're going to go to custom size, and then you're just going to size it at 970 by 300 pixels. Click create new design, and then you can add as many pages as you like. So now let's go into the A+ content that I created for this book. So I chose a book called Stop Overthinking to make the A+ content for. So I basically just go through my formula. I have an opening hook sentence, break the cycle, and free your mind once and for all. And then what I did was I actually added a bunch of quotes in behind, just kind of cluttered in the back, transparent, just different things that people would be thinking of. I can't believe I said that. They hated my presentation. I'm never going to get that promotion. I think I'm going to get fired. My boss hasn't talked to me all day. Just thoughts that people would think of and kind of spiral into a negative thought train with. So I just wanted to relate to the potential reader and really hook them in and just tell them that I understand what they're going through. And that's what this book is for. So going down, I showcased the main selling feature of the book, which is the 23 effective techniques to declutter your mind. People like numbers. People like a definitive number. Like it's not unsure. It's like, no, I have 23 things. If you do these techniques, you're going to declutter your mind and free yourself from overthinking. And then I added a circle just saying backed by behavioral psychology. This was in the information of the book. So if you have something like this, just add it in there. Just give your book some credibility, why they should buy your book. And if you want to add any visuals or different things, Canva has tons of elements and different things you can add just on the left over here. So check it out, type in keywords based on your topic and see if you can find some nice illustrations to add to make it more appealing. So in the third block, I just go over some of the interior of the book, highlight a key point of what the book is so that they can really visualize what their experience is going to be. So I put 20 plus worksheets inside, and then I actually put in some of the worksheets that are going to be in the book so people can actually see and visualize their experience of going through the book, filling out these worksheets, and maybe they might even give it a try and it might even be effective before they even buy your book. So these are not actually from the actual book. These are just for the example, but pull stuff from your book, illustrations, diagrams. Maybe if it's a coloring book, take coloring book pages, put it there. So even if you don't have these worksheets in your book, just showcase the interior. Just take the formatting from chapter 1. And if it's done properly, if you formatted your book well or got it formatted by a professional, it's going to look nice and it's going to give people a visual of what your book is like inside, how they're going to be reading it. And if they really like that, they're already going to be more inclined to buy it because they can picture the experience that they're going to have reading it. So my fourth and final block, I have the closing statement, closing the sale, regain control over your thoughts with just one book. And then I have this little add to cart button to kind of entice them to take action. So if you actually look on the left, there's all the sentences from the first block and they're just shoved in the trash can. So it's basically just showcasing that this book will help you take all those thoughts, throw them in the garbage and have control of them. So it kind of closes the loop. You have all these thoughts, this clutter, and then you take them, you throw them away because you've read the book and you've regained control over your thoughts. So just to go over the blocks, you basically have the hook, the main sentence with some sort of enticing features like the book cover, maybe something that relates to the book. In this case, it's these little thoughts. I have an important selling feature of the book and why somebody would need to buy this book and why it's going to help them. I have some interior snippets from the book, just allowing the reader to visualize the experience that they're going to have and entice them even more. And then I close the loop with the final closing sentence and then some visuals to kind of represent the problem being solved and going to buy the book. So you're probably wondering how we should export this. So basically to export this, the settings you want, you're just going to go share, you're going to go download, and usually you can do PNG or JPEG. PNG is just sometimes a high quality version, but if you're not sure, you don't really know what that is, just go JPEG. And then from there, you always want the highest quality. So with A+ content, you're going to notice that sometimes it can be a little blurry or it's having trouble finding the size. So I would start with 970 by 300 pixels, but then if you upload it, it doesn't look right, you can actually increase the size of it a couple of notches. It's just going to add more pixels, add more data, and most likely improve the quality. So if you do too much, it doesn't always work better. You have to find the sweet spot. So start with 970 by 300, and then if it's not looking that clear, just up the size of it a couple of times and find the sweet spot. Sometimes I'll normally do 2 or 3 sizes bigger just with this little bar here, it'll just automatically go to the next size up, keeping it in proportion. And then you're essentially just going to click download. So we're not done here. I'm actually going to show you now how to properly upload your A+ content once it's complete. So what you want to do is just simply go to your KDP dashboard. You're going to go to the marketing section, which is the fourth one over here, which will take me right back to where I am. You're going to scroll down and you're going to find A+ content. An important thing to note when you're doing A+ content is you have to upload it for each marketplace. It's not one per all marketplaces. You have to upload it individually to Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.uk. So make sure that you go and put it on all the platforms you'd like. I usually just do the main ones: UK.com, Australia, Canada, maybe Spain, Germany. But if you want to do it for them all, that's fine too. So I'm just going to log in to get into the A+ content dashboard. So when you get to your A+ content dashboard, whichever marketplace you click, you're simply just going to go start creating A+ content. And now this is where you add the modules. So we're just going to go add module. And this is an important part right here, is you're actually going to click the standard image and dark text overlay. So this is going to have a dark text overlay, but to get away from this, all you have to do is add your image, put no text in the box, and the overlay is not going to come up. All you're going to see is your image. So just simply click add background image and then upload the image that we just exported from Canva. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to add 4 of these because we do have 4 of our images because they are separated on the A+ content. So just make 4 pages, then add your images that we just exported. So now that I added it, it's actually going to ask you to just describe the image. So I usually just type in whatever text I have on there. So break the cycle and free your mind once and for all. This is just for like descriptive people. If they have trouble seeing, they can listen to it. So this is where you're going to see the quality of it. So I think this is fine, but sometimes when you upload it to Amazon, it's going to look a little different. So just monitor it, and you can always change the size to improve the quality. You'll just have to go re-export it and re-upload it. So once you've uploaded your 4 blocks, you're just going to click next. It's going to take you to the next section, which is applying it to your books. So I'm not going to do this because I'm not going to actually upload this A+ content, but essentially all you do is go to your KDP dashboard and get the ASIN of your book you want the A+ content to be on, and just put it in here. You're going to have to get it for the ebook, the paperback, and whatever other formats you have. So once you upload it, you apply it to each one. You simply just submit your A+ content, and then Amazon approves it. And you can go in and edit this and edit your blocks as much as you want. So for the people who are re-uploading their A+ content because they want to improve it, I just wanted to showcase this quick tool. BookBeam has this thing called Listing Optimizer. So if you're actually trying to optimize your listing, you can essentially just take the link to your book, click Analyze, and what it's going to do is it's going to give you a score and go over things you can do to improve your product page. It's going to talk about the reviews and ratings, what you need: at least 20 reviews, an average star rating of 4.0 and up, at least 3 category trees, which this person doesn't have, within the top 100, ranked in at least 4 categories, the A+ content. It's going to see if it's added, having at least 2 sections. The description, is it formatted? Is it at least 1,000 characters? And it's going to give you a summary of this. So if you're looking to improve your product page and just optimize it, this tool is awesome. You can check it on the link in the description. And it's just a great way to optimize your product page and make sure that you have all the important features that your book needs to convert to a sale. So I mentioned before I was going to talk about how to actually outsource your A+ content. So if you have the budget and you're not really a creative person, you can actually go to Fiverr. Just type in A+ content, go through the listings, find one with good reviews, one that has some good designs, and give them a message. They're going to know exactly how to format it. And it's a very quick and easy way to outsource it if you have the budget and if you're not very creative of a person. So that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for the bad quality audio once again. I'm going to be back to my good equipment soon, but I hope you got some value in this. This is my process to do A+ content and to do it well. I feel like a lot of people miss the mark on this and they have too much text or it's not really getting to the point. And the point of A+ content is to visually represent your book at a glance so people can understand the experience that they're going to have extremely quickly. If people haven't bought your book from the cover or the description, the A+ content is one of the main places they're going to buy your book from. It's going to show them the exact experience that they're going to get if they buy your book, and if they like it or they don't like it is going to determine whether they buy it. So thanks for watching. Just to reiterate, I actually have my consulting calls back up and running, so definitely go in the link in the description if you've been waiting for a call and find a time that works for you. Like I mentioned, the times are going to be weird because I'm still in Portugal, but feel free to shoot me an email if you want to find a different time that works for both of us. That's it for this week. We'll see you in the next video.